I love you. The sunlight smiles, faithful every day for you.
Hey guys, welcome to week 1 of the Best Help Book, Tips and Tools for Helping Young People. So today is about mindset, coming from chapter 3 of the book. Mahatma Gandhi has this quote, which I'm going to say backwards, because we often look at the end product, that's what we focus on, but we don't think about the process it took. We see young people where they are now and think, why are they like this? Why are they doing this? And there was a process that took them there. So he said, our destiny becomes our values. Our values are influenced by our habits. Our habits are influenced by our actions. Our actions are influenced by our words. Our words are influenced by our thoughts. And our thoughts are influenced by our belief system. So your belief system will influence your destiny. And have you heard the saying that thoughts become things? So if Mahatma Gandhi is correct when he said that our thoughts become our words. We then merely have to listen to understand, not listen to respond, of the words that young people say and their actions, which will give us an idea of the way that they're thinking. And when we understand their thinking patterns, then we're able to start to learn about their belief systems. And these belief systems have a big impact on their life. We are a sum total of our thoughts of yesterday. I researched, it says that we have about 60,000 thoughts that pass our minds every day. And 95% of them are repetitive from yesterday's thoughts. So there's so much thoughts that are going around in our heads. And a lot of these are sometimes negative. So we need to help young people to become aware of their thoughts, because thoughts become things. So if a young person has a negative mindset, do you know what? We will always act accordingly to the way that we see ourselves. So if they see themselves as not being worth anything, if they see themselves as ugly and not good enough, that's how they're going to act. And they need to be aware of, actually, my thoughts are creating a reality I may not actually really, truly want. So guys, today is about mindset. I always think of the mind as a garden. And we are the gardeners, the adults, the youth workers, the teachers, the parents. And we are to sow seeds that will blossom into flowers and uproot weeds that are not there. Or I see our minds like a computer that can sometimes have years of wrong data inputted into it. And we are the tech guys and tech ladies who are to come and help young people to put the antivirus, that's their protection, but to also be able to download and delete some of those files that no longer serve their lives. We have a mind, and we all have one, and it controls everything that we do. If we see through a pair of glasses with a green lens, everything we see is green. Same way, if we have a very negative mindset, everything we see will be negative. We have a subconscious mind and we have a conscious mind. And a great book to read is Brian Tracy, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. Now I can go into minds and conscious and not, but I'm not going to focus on that. It's just to highlight that our minds are very powerful tools. And one of our responsibilities and roles to help young people is to get them to be aware of their thoughts that they're thinking and how it can affect their life, but also to help them to implant better thoughts into their minds. Our minds can only hold one thought at a time. So if you're thinking a negative thing, sometimes trying to think something positive will cancel out the thought you was just originally thinking. So my tool for today is visualization. And you might be thinking this is very simple, but sometimes it's those simple things that we overlook because they seem so simple. So there was an experiment done in the university with a group of basketball players. They recorded their scores and then they split them into groups. Group 1 didn't practice for the 7 days, say it was 7 days. Group 2 practiced only in their mind, and Group 3 practiced every day. After a period of time, they came back to record their scores to see if there was any improvements. The group that didn't practice, there was no change. The group that visualized themselves throwing the ball improved by 25%, and the same with the group that practiced every day physically. So there is power in visualizing. And why I talk about visualizing, because it's helping young people to see themselves bigger, better than where they see themselves now. Visualizing a future that is bigger and better than where they see themselves now. We think in images. If I say think of a beach, you're not going to think of the word beach, you're going to picture the beach. So we think in images. What images are our young people holding in their minds for their future? Are they seeing themselves as having good jobs and having a car and having a house and being at peace and enjoying life, and not just the material things but well-being in the inside and feeling good about themselves? Or are they picturing, not living till 18 or 21, or not having a good job, or I'm just going to be a drug dealer, or I'm just going to live on the estates all my life? And there's nothing wrong with living on an estate. But what images are they holding of themselves and where they can go and what they can be? And it's important that we help young people to identify that. So let's start focusing on roots, because once we undig the roots, we have long-lasting change and not focusing just simply on the fruit. So our mind is the most biggest tool. It controls everything that we do. So when we begin to understand our minds, we can help young people to understand theirs. Because in order to be the change, we need to start doing things ourselves. So I will end with Mahatma Gandhi's quote in the way in which he wrote it, was that our beliefs become our thoughts become our words become our actions become our habits become our values, and our values become our destiny. Guys.